Alright, so let's do our event preview for Final Fantasy XI. That is Aphmau, our new healer in the realm. Alright. Finally, a real Final Fantasy XI event. Aphmau will never cease to be an awkward thing to say. It's true, I can't get over how difficult it is to say. I'm considered record diving Noctis. I pulled for a third time on the banner and got everything for him. If I had just a Super Soul Break, I'd probably dive him. That's how good it is. I thought it was that good, and now everybody I talk to that's gotten it has been like, this is better than I thought it was going to be. And I feel like I can break it down phonetically. Mao. It's just a weird name. Affy? Affy? I can do that. Yeah. Alphino is different because I actually understand the language that it came from. It's French. Or it's a French pronunciation. And it's like you give carte blanche to French because what the syllables that they use are so foreign to me already that saying Alphino is like, oh, well, that's French. It's going to sound weird to me. Aphmau, I have no idea what that is. It's just letter soup. Yeah, Reddit, I don't know. I didn't even catch that thread. I wish I had seen it. Like, how can you... I don't understand how you can look at that super and be like, this is awful. It's so plain. I was so hyped up for it. And I was scared that it wasn't going to live up to my expectations. That was it. That was the only reservation I had. Okay, Final Fantasy XI finally becomes a real realm with the inclusion of Aphmau, the Summoner White Mage. Zeed is also a thing. A Dark Cecil type thing. More on that later. But yeah, Aphmau, she's great. It's no secret that I'm in love with cast speed reduction statuses, and she joins Realm as a White Mage with an Instacast bestowing BSB. Not only Instacast bestowing, but Instacast itself. And this makes Realm and Aphmau two of the best healers in the game. By itself, this already establishes Aphmau as a remarkably capable healer. As an off-realm, this shouldn't come as any surprise as she joins an already stellar cast including Lion Ayame, two of the best at what they do. And our new characters, Aphmau. Let's see your stats. Looking at normal stats, I like that she has a high magic. The 205 magic and 205 mine means she is actually a capable summoner, if you need her to be. Aphmau is basically a better version of Yuna. She's Yuna on crack. The good kinds. If you can imagine a good kind of crack. So that's awesome. And Zeed is a big fat ass, it looks like. 7290 HP. Okay, he's gonna need that because he's a darkness character. Weapons, daggers, swords, axes, that's a little limited. Armor, shields, that's a lot of stuff. So what do you got? This is awful. Like, Spellblade 3 is useless, and I looked at his record dive and he doesn't get any more, so great. I'm honestly glad that you can hit some vulnerabilities, man. Congratulations. So he's a Combat 5, Darkness 5 character. He is Dark Cecil. Awesome, Mike. I'm glad you could make it. Legend dives. We have Corilla, Aphmau, and Lion. I wonder why they didn't decide to give us a record dive of Zeed, because he's a crap character. Probably the worst tier we have. This is weird to me. As I was writing this down when I did the preview, 500 HP on a knight? There's something fishy about this. She's supposed to be a tanky Holy Knight. 500 HP is weird. She should have 1,000 on her Legend Dive. 40 attack at least, and 20 magic. See, this is probably where some of that strength went to. 20 magic that she has no use for. Am I, like, I need to, like, triple check this. Did I read this incorrectly? Because it's that unbelievable to me that she would have this bad of a Legend Dive. 500 health, 40 attack, 20 defense, 20 magic, 20 resist, 20 mind. Ah, nice, Ballas. I'm glad you could make it. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a YouTube stream, too. So this is a bad Legend Dive. We don't see very many of these because they're pretty simple. How do you screw these up? And not only is it bad for that, but she also has minor holy resist. Instead of, say, Aphmau here has minor silence resist and moderate silence resist, both of which stack with each other, and also would stack with resistances, or would allow you to use a different resistance because they stack together and do so well at their job that you wouldn't have to worry about silence. So this is actually excellent. In this case, though, minor confused resist doesn't do barely anything, and minor holy resist is something that can just get overwritten by a holy resistance accessory because, you know, we use those very often. This is just one of the worst Legend Dives I have ever seen. Ayame is on the second banner, Will. Aphmau has 500 HP, that's typical. 20 defense, 20 magic, 30 resistance, 40 mind. She's a white mage. That's exactly what she wants. Minor silence, moderate silence. They stack, and they will stack with accessories. That's great. That's exactly what you want. 9% white healing. That's good. I mean, it'd be hard to give her something else, like to work with her as a summoner, as well as a white mage. And, you know, if I'm going to choose between the two, I'd rather the WHT healing rather than anything pertaining to summoning for her. So summoning is just something that she can do, which is nice, and that's all. Lion, our celerity thief person, gets 300 more health from her record dive than the Knight of the Realm. No, her commands are... Well, yeah, that's a good question, Will, and I don't know the answer. Because I believe Yuna's... and this is probably what you're referencing. Yuna's command 2, when you're in summon mode, turns all of your statuses into summon. Or your command types into summon, right? Or were you... Hold on. So Aphmau's, yeah, right. The base is WHT. Now, Yuna's are also base WHT, correct? Or were you wondering about the damage type? No, the school type. Like this. She's doing WHT type for when she doesn't have summon mode, but when she's in summon mode, she doesn't get the benefits from WHT pluses, which would be relevant for Aphmau. So Aphmau does not have this, I don't know, double-edged sword. Both commands and both summoning type of those commands are WHT type. So her plus 9% WHT healing will apply to everything that she does. Okay, so moving on. Lion, 35 attack, 25 defense, 20 resistance, 20 speed. It's good. Minor slow, moderate slow. That's actually kind of cool. I don't think I've seen slow resist in Legend Dive. That's pretty cool. 9% dagger physical damage. I guess so. Because, I mean, most people get their elemental damage type, right? Like Corilla gets plus 9% holy damage. But Lion is a non-elemental character, so you gotta find some way to give her non-elemental damage. And you gave her a 9% dagger, which is fine. It's fine. What's Lion's equipment? Like, what's the probability that we would be using a different type of equipment with Lion? Lion can use fist weapons, daggers, bows, and thrown. So it's not like she's using swords ever. I think since she's non-elemental, it's a lot easier to just say, okay, I'm gonna put a dagger on her. Because that's fine. Yeah. Like chicken knife, yeah. Nah, that's good. I guess I would just prefer it was 9% PHY damage, but Vaughn has a similar thing. Let's go check it out. Vaughn also has 9% damage with daggers, yeah. So they really do mirror each other. Alright, new legend materia. Corilla's is physical attacks deal 10% more damage, sure. 35% chance to grant Magic Blink 1 to the user after taking damage from an enemy. Well, that does help, you know, with the whole 300 or 500 missing health on your legend dive. I don't know, it's okay. I think after seeing, what is it, Rosa's BSB and how that can apply Magic Blink to people, and also not really being blown away by Realm's LMR, it's neat to have on top, but this is an LM2, you know? This is something that takes an considerable amount of resources to get. That's 200 5-star motes. This is not worth LM2 status. It's a cool, unique LM. I do agree with that, but not something that I actually would desire for an effectiveness purpose. So, you know, I'm not seeing any reason in the world to Legend Dive Corilla right now. It's no problem, Drake, and I'm just getting into it. I haven't even gone to the banners yet. We just touched on the characters. Aphmau, though, WHD abilities restore 15% more HP. Okay, so even more healing. Pacifist Empress grants re-raise 80% at the beginning of battle and grants dual blink 1 to the user when re-raise is triggered. Not feeling it. I think we're in the realm of a realm now. I had to do it. I didn't like Realm's Legend Dive either. So dual blink 1 is evades the next attack that could be evaded with physical or magical blink and lower priority than normal blinks. Yeah, so I wouldn't Legend Dive off Mo either. Let's check out Lion though. Physical attacks deal 10% more damage when equipping a dagger. Like, why do you have, like, when equipping a dagger? You really just can't take daggers off of Lion, can you? And you just get physical attacks deal 10% more damage. Why? Where's the... This is a double standard you guys got going here. At least make it 15% if you're going to add a condition. Agent's consecutive strikes. 35% chance to dual cast thief abilities. This is good. This is very good. This makes Lion really potent as not just a non-elemental character, but also as a poison damage dealing character, but more importantly, a wind damage dealing character. Once we get a 4-hit, was it Dash and Slice? The 5-star wind thief ability. And if you just want to do non-elemental damage, there's always Thief's Revenge, which is awesome in the hands of Vaughn and Lion. So this is actually a good Legend Dive. I liked everything that I saw here, except the condition of daggers, but just throw a dagger on her and live with it. What are Lion's BSB commands? They're Thief. I'll go into that when we get to Lion's BSB on the second second banner. But I know, because I checked, they are Thief. Lion doesn't have the same mistakes that Von did. I don't understand why they don't retroactively change Von's commands to Thief. And we got new abilities. Or a new ability, Dire Weapon. This is actually an excellent ability. A 5-star Darkness, Dark Element, 2 single attacks, 1.50 multiplier each for a 3.0 total, and heals user for 20% of the damage dealt. This is a dual strike Drain Strike. Darkness, Physical Darkness finally gets something good. Thank goodness. And post-ability overhaul, it gets even better. It does the exact same thing, except they split the attacks into 4 instead of 2. So it's 4 at 0.75 instead of 2 at 1.5. So this total multiplier stays the same at 3.0. Still an awesome ability. Does Dire get the same overall? Yeah. So that's why I added a little section here, just to show people what this will turn into eventually. It turns into a 4-hit ability, which basically means that Darkness characters are likely going to be able to full heal themselves, just with this ability. Really awesome. So this is something we keep. Alright, everyone ready for the banners? Ah, man, I ran out of coffee. Alright, this will have to last me. Alright, Gorilla USB. Sword, RS Holy. Oops. Attack, defense, magic, plus 30% to party, and grants Radiant Shield to party. This is actually a good USB. You know, for parties that either don't need haste or in a full throttle situation where you're likely to have a burst on everybody, or someone in the party has something that gives haste to everybody. This is actually quite awesome, because Radiant Shield does a ton of damage, and this is a hybrid buff, and I didn't change the order of these around that they appeared on Enliers. Yeah, it's a deployment tactic that can stack with Onions BSB, correct. Yeah, that's awesome. We've been looking for this for a while. Yeah, Cough Apocalypse. I need coffee when I'm streaming. So attack and magic, awesome, and defense is a nice bonus. We probably prefer resistance, but whatever, we're not going to complain. The defense means it can stack. Love it. Love this USB a lot. And I rated it 80 out of 100 because it's really good, but it's not like, oh, this is like awesome tier. It's just, I'm happy, really happy to have it. Really, really happy to have it. I save the 90 of 100s for stuff like this. Aphmau's USB is what defines her. Instant Cast. Instant Cast Curaga Medica grants haste to party and Instant Cast 1 to party. As we have all seen with Realm. No, I'm not addicted to caffeine. That is not why I drink coffee. Instant Cast restores Curaga Medica and grants haste to party and Instant Cast 1. This is exactly like Realm's USB, except instead of Stone Skin 30%, which is kind of a mixed blessing, you know, it grants haste to party instead, which is not a mixed blessing. So this is a 90 of 100. This is an awesome healer USB. Likely the best healer USB in the game, other than Rosa's. I would rank them at this point, off the top of my head, Rosa, Aphmau, Realm. And, yeah, I mean, Realm may be in the third place there, but... Whew. All three of these are basically the holy trinity of healer USBs. So, Penella USB would be fourth. Yes. Yeah, I think it would. I think that's accurate. Especially when Penelo gets her Legend Dive, Penelo actually becomes one of the better healers in the game. I wouldn't say that. I mean, Echo's is good. It's definitely good, but Penelo's is better. Well, that's... Is haste normally covered by a team? Now it is. Penelo gets better Dragon. I like her USB now a lot, but I feel like Penelo's lacking as a character. That changes in the future with the next Final Fantasy XII event. So this is definitely the prize of the banner. This is amazing in a team-defining USB. Next up, we have the BSBs. So our banner format is 2 USBs, 3 BSBs, 2 LMR, and 4 supers. So we're back to that after the lovely... Well, I don't know if people thought it was lovely, but the change that we had for the Final Fantasy 15 banner because there's so few people there. Okay, Off-Mouse BSB. It's a hat, Cura Medica, Magic Mind 30%. If you've seen this before, it is because this is a basically a copy of Yuna's, except just a power creep improvement of it. Command 1A, White Magic, restores HP 60, grants summon activate to the user. Restores HP 60 is a single target heal, like a Kiraga. So, you know, with Yuna, you just cast Veil 4, and that's it. It's a dead turn. Aphmau gets a single target heal out of her summon activate. Just a full-on improvement with no cost. Her regular Command 2 is White Magic and restores HP 25 to the party, exactly like Yuna's. It's just your normal Command 2 on a healer BSB. But on the evolved summon modes of the 2 commands, Command 1B is Lightning Non-Elemental, White Magic, deal 4 single attacks, and restores HP 60 to the lowest percentage person. Ally, and remove summon activate from the user. So you can, if you don't have any need for spamming Command 2, yeah, there is a threat of counter. That's true. But I'll take this over Yuna's any day, even with that little caveat. But it is worth mentioning. Thank you. So she could actually be, you know. It's not going to be strong because this is going to be a damage every other turn, but this is somebody healing and dealing damage at the same time, as long as you don't need the area of effect heals. However, if you do need the area of effect heals, you can cast the Command 1 to give yourself summoning mode, and then go into Lightning Non-Elemental, White Magic, 2 single attacks, 5/1/4 each, and restores HP 25 to all allies. This is really good. This is a 10.0 attack. So this is close to Chain Thundaga. And restores HP 25 to all allies. That's great. No, Command 2 does not remove the summon. So you use Command 1 once to get that single target heal, and then keep on using the Medica command, and she's just Chain Thundagaing alongside her Medica. It's really just an improvement over Yuna's. Power creep, it's a thing. So, she does also get an excellent BSB to go along with her USB. That's awesome. Really like this. Next up, we have the Z BSB. Sword RS Dark. 8 single attacks, cause stun 100%, grants haste, attach dark, and burst mode to the user. Stun is situationally useful, but it's a free effect here. As you see, the haste, attach dark, and burst mode is your normal, and the stun 100% is completely added on top. So that's actually a nice entry. C1 is Dark Non-Elemental Darkness. The darkness is the school. 4 single attacks, 5 attacks of exploiting elemental weakness. That's actually a good command. Second attack, second command is Dark Null Elemental Darkness. 2 group attacks, 0.65 each, grants Dark Marker to the user for 20 seconds. That's actually a good command. Hey, Don, how's it going? So I ragged on Zed a little bit. He's a weird character and he kind of stinks. But he does have a good burst. This is actually... like, it's really standard and there's nothing interesting about it. But it's actually a really good burst. And I can't deny that. So... we actually have a pretty good banner so far. The problem with the burst, the only problem is that it's on a character that... no, it sucks. Same ID as the skill. Mike. ID 6001. Attack plus 30%, defense minus 30%. So when I put Dark Bargain here, see, I follow the conventions of Enlir's Spike. So if I say it grants Dark Bargain, it means it's the ID of Dark Bargain. If I put attack plus 30% and defense minus 30%, then it's the stat modification of attack and defense. So that's how you can know. So when I put Dark Bargain, it just means this is a unique status. Mark Dargan. And I have rated at 70 out of 100. It's actually a really good BSB. He just stinks. Gorilla BSB. Sword, Holy Non-Elemental, 6 group attacks, grants intervention to all allies for 25 seconds. That's kind of cool. Intervention is... well, it was... in Japan, it was originally on Gorilla's BSB, but since we didn't get Gorilla's BSB, because that event was skipped, we eventually got intervention for the first time on Orlando's BSB Command 1. I agree, Ricky, but there's a lot of things that are worse than Sephiroth's BSB 2. So, Sephiroth's BSB 2 is extremely good. For, yeah, exactly. It's a step down from that. So this is actually a good status. Attack plus 30%, defense plus 50% to the party is actually pretty good. I just think it really fails from that point on. I think I rated this too low because now I'm thinking about it. But like, that status is so good. Attack 30%, defense 50%. I think I would retroactively place this as a 70. I hate this command. 4 single attacks and grants high regen to the user. Everyone here knows how how highly I rate the high regen. I just think this is a dump command. What I'd be using, or what I'd be doing with Gorilla here, is the 2 group attacks and grant Sentinel. Sentinel plus 200% defense. You know what you're supposed to use with this. I mean, you're getting 50% defense and 200% defense with Sentinel. It's a Guardbringer thing. So you entry, you C2, and then you Guardbringer. You don't even have to worry about how bad this is. I think when I rated this, I was probably in a hurry. And I saw the high regen command. I'm like, that's crap. And I rated it. So this is probably a 70 out of 100 instead. And this is one of the few things in this entire event that has a recurrence, because this is the last Final Fantasy event that happens. It did occur on the 30th anniversary festival. 30th anniversary festival, Banner 4. But that's up in the air for us. We do not know. Yes, it's in a concept called exclusive statuses. If you want to take a look at these on Enlir sometime, it actually goes into it a little bit. See, low regen, we can just use it for this. Heals for 3% max HP every 3 seconds, right? And a little further down, we have a column called exclusive status. This means that it can't share status with the person with any of these. So, oh my god, we lost it. No, not Phantom Regen. What is this? So low regen is exclusive status with medium regen, high regen, poison, sap, and zombie. So if you apply low regen and you had any of these statuses, it would overwrite them, and vice versa. They all share that with each other. I'm not... I mean, there is a zombie status coded into the game. I'm not sure... It may have been used for, like, a single fight. I forget. But it's not really a thing that, you know, we see. Okay, so moving on. I actually like this BSB more than I thought I did. Now we move into the LMRs. Kirilla's LMR has 30% chance to cover physical attacks target allies, resisting damage taken by 20%. It's okay. It's fine. It's added bonus for her. It's definitely better than her Legend Dive, her LM2 or LM1. So it'd be nice to have if you want to run a Kirilla. I got rated 50 out of 100. I'd probably missed adding a plus 10 qualifier that if you have her BSB, I believe this is better because she gives herself plus 250% or plus 50% plus 200% defense. That's obviously nice because she will never take damage from physical. But here we have Aphmau's LMR. Further cementing Aphmau as one of the best healers in the game. That's not hyperbole. It's not, you know, exaggeration. Bracer, 25% chance to grant HP stock 2000 to the target after using a single target white magic ability that restores HP on an ally. J Dong, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. You'll love your StarCraft play. This is awesome. All right. While Realm's Magic Blink 1 why is Aphmau LMR getting plus 20% for USB? Because with her USB, if you're using USB with Aphmau, what are you using for abilities? How are you healing after that? With single target cures. Where if you're using her BSB, it's probably for the area of effect cures. And that's it. 2 LMRs. Aphmau Super Soul Break. Robe, Minor Earth Resist. Okay. Grants Astra and High Regen to the party. Not something you're going to use by itself, most likely. It is an Astra, so if you need one, and shouldn't this mean thing has a base rating of 70? Now, why? Why would it have a base rating of 70? How would you rate just getting Aphmau's LMR? Would you use her? Right, exactly. I play that into my ratings, is that you have an incentive to use this character. Just getting her LMR is not a good thing. It's not worth using the character. So how can I rate it highly? So Aphmau Super Soul Break, yeah, Solus, I agree. I think it's a complimentary piece. It's like, okay, now I have an Astra available on this super fucking awesome healer. Pardon my French. And that's awesome. That's nice. This is just a nice complimentary piece. And that's why I gave it a 50. I probably actually rate it as 40 and give it a plus 20 with USB and or BSB. Because by itself, it's really not that whatever. Zed BS or Super Soul Break. Dark Ice 8 single multiplier increases HP decreases. I hate this. I hate that on everything that I see it on, including Seafreeze USB. Restores HP to the user for 40% of their maximum HP. Hate that too. I hate soul breaks that have this on that because a lot can happen in 2.5 seconds. So here you go. You get a 30 out of 100. We have our worst relic on the banner. Gorilla Super Soul Break. 6 single attacks, restores HP to all allies, 40% of maximum HP. Like it. Removes negative effects to all allies. Like it. Yeah, this is a good super. So, likely not worth using by yourself. Noctis Super Soul Break makes everything better. I probably should have wrote that as a joke, Craig. Like, Noctis Super Soul Break, 80 out of 100, plus 20% with anything in the game. I do like it too, Solus. It is nice. It is, but I can't rate a Sid mission thing highly. Especially for a realm as rare as this. However, I know we're getting a Final Fantasy XI Torment, and it's going to likely occur before the next Final Fantasy XI event. So Sid mission stuff in Final Fantasy XI is relevant, and that's why this event preview is so important. So this is actually a good relic. Really good relic for that. And next up we have, thank goodness that this is one of 14%. Grants quick magical attacks 5 to the user. This is dump on its own, but I rated it plus 20 with CSB because think about that. Bringing this into a fight with their CSB in a full throttle situation. Use this, have quick magical attacks 5, use her CSB, and then use the Lightning Witch ability 4 times after that at quick magical attack speed. That's actually kind of gross. So that's a nice complimentary piece for Shantoto. I have it. Yes, I do have it, Shimra. I pulled this, the only Final Fantasy XI Super Soul Break in the entire game. And they gave us a lucky with Final Fantasy XI on it, and I managed to pull it. And I have no use for it. What do you mean? It does work, actually. And that's, I guess, a good point. The quick magical attack statuses have unique IDs. This is ID 2002. What Shantoto's CSB does for you. Frightening Lightning. Lightning Chain 20% and grants Quick Cast 2 to all allies. So let's go take a look at that status. Quick Cast 2, cast speed times 2, lasts 2 turns. That ID is 2016. They actually stack. So what you'd be doing is you'd use your Super Soul Break and get half cast speed, casting the CSB. And once you have the CSB used, what you have is 4 stacks left of your Quick Magical Attacks 5, so Quick Magical Attacks 4 essentially, and Quick Cast 2. So your first 2 uses of Hell Thunder, is that what it's called, will actually be at I don't even know the calculation. I think they stack multiplicatively, so it's just gonna be really fast for the first 2 casts, because you'll have stacking cast speeds, and then you'll get 2 more after that at normal half cast speed, because you will have 2 charges remaining on your quick magical attacks 5. That is correct, Strider. Yes. In order for you to get the benefit from quick magical attacks, you need to be using, I think it's on here. Right. It's actually, I have it on the tooltip. Cast speed times 2 for BL key. Oh man. That is an English fail. That's a pretty bad one. BLK, WHT, BLU, SUM, or NAT attacks that deal magical damage. So as long as it deals magical damage and is one of these types, you can actually benefit from this. Right. No, yeah, that's why I'm saying it's not, like, don't go nuts, right? It's actually kind of bad, but it's really interesting if you have Shantoto CSB in a lightning vulnerable situation. Like, this would be awesome for speed clearing Mateus, combined with her CSB. So there we go, banner 1. I don't want I don't want this, and even if I didn't have this, I wouldn't want it. But yeah, it's one of those things that, since there's nothing else for Shantoto on this banner, or really in this event, she shows up in the same way in the second banner, and that sucks too. It's a complimentary piece for something that doesn't occur here, but it'd be a nice thing to pick up for all you guys that have for CSB. So let's go into banner 2, which is my preferred of them. We have Lion's USB. Dagger, non-elemental instant cast. Love that instant cast. 9 random attacks, 0.78 each. Attack, defense, magic, resistance, mine, so it's a pentabreak, minus 30% for 25 seconds, and grants instant cast 2 to the user. Whew. Wow. That's really good. I have this rated at 80 of 100. I think the only thing taking this off of 90% is that it's really powerful, but it's something that needs to be layered. And Lion can do this all by herself, but the pentabreak wants to be layered with something else, and that's all. I think I should have noted that here. That the rating increases if you have something else, another powerful break for her, whether that be your BSB or her, what's her super? Defense and resistance minus 50% for 25 seconds. Group attacks at higher speed. Yeah, that's probably even a 90 combined with that. Right, okay, yeah, you're right, Magicite. I think that's why I stuck it at 80 instead of giving it the plus 10 conditional, is because this is one of the things that will not be beneficial in Magicite dungeons. Lion, unfortunately, loses a lot of her effectiveness there. She turns into someone more suited for dealing quick thief attacks. So really not as useful as someone else could be. She definitely gets... Her primary focus in life is not for doing those things. However, I really like this USB. So that's a nice 80 of 100. Next up, we have Ayame's OSB. OSBs, like I'm going to say it for many times and probably for many events coming, OSBs are always going to have a minimum effectiveness and a maximum. They don't go anywhere in how well they do their job, because they do a job that nothing else can accomplish. And they're good by themselves because of entrust batterying. Oh, do I? I think it's because I angle my head down. So you get the full, where this is my normal. Okay, so Ice Non-Elemental, 11.25, but that doesn't matter. You're only going to be using this when you're exploiting vulnerability, most likely. So you get a 12.75. It's not that much over the normal 12, but it's enough. It's enough when you know that you're getting it 100% of the time, right? Well, Zadowel, I think OSBs are good by themselves because of Magicite dungeons, because this can be brought into, what is it? It's not Sea Lion. I forget the fight, but anyway, this can be brought into. Well, I don't think they're great stat sticks that much, unless they have. I really don't really care for 6-star relics that just have a high attack stat. They're not all that useful. Really, you need that plus elemental if you're going to be any good, in my eyes. It's really just for the OSB and the fact that you can run a team and have an Entruster instead of a damage dealer feeding bar to OSB users. Because it will be that effective. And Ayame's is one of them. And Ayame's is good as well, and this is why it's not really conditional, because Ayame has a way to really, really effectively do ice damage. Yeah, her BSB is hands down better than her OSB, absolutely. Her OSB is just, it's icing on the cake, you know? But a great part about Ayame is that she has access to Hailstorm as a samurai. She is like a super samurai. And the fact that she can Hailstorm, and Hailstorm gets a buff to 4 hits of ice and increases your attack by 30% as well. It's really... City has caught it. I'm so glad. Exactly, Zadell. Thank you for summing that up in a concise sentence. You want OSBs after you have the amazing BSBs, or the amazing things that make the character good. But Ayame is one of those characters that, even though her BSB is frigging awesome, she is also a highly adept 5-star ability user. Hailstorm isn't unique. It is unique. It is unique. Like Dark Bargain has a status in Enleer's named after it, the plus 30% attack and minus 30% defense. Hailstorm also has the status, the twin status named after it, plus 30% attack and minus 30% resistance. So it would stack with Shout. Okay, so enough about our OSBs. It's actually good by itself. That's what I wanted to get across. So 70 is, I believe, is justified. I am a BSB, so we move into something just flat out better. 80. And I think 80 is just high enough, and that's why I didn't give it a 10% with OSB, because it's just super high. Relic. Katana and minor dark resistance. That's weird on a weapon, but, you know, whatever. Grants haste, Meikyo Shisui, and attach ice and burst mode. If you noticed, this Meikyo Shisui is a bonus. It's a bonus. Like the Celeste BSB2, this is just completely thank you for adding this to the kit of the BSB. You get it for free. And it's a really nice free effect. Attack and resistance plus 30%. That's awesome. Like that's so powerful. I don't understand how you're able to get that for free. And the same thing with Celeste's BSB2. And honestly, because it's free and it's on the entry, a lot of people overlook it, I think. AMA BSB is good as Squall's BSB2. That is, if we had gotten the Final Fantasy XI event, I think this would be a more hotly contested point. And it may come up on Reddit as this event gets closer, or we see the banners and people start pulling. You're probably going to see a lot of topics on that. I think against a target dummy, you're going to get more damage off of Squall's BSB2 than you are Ayame's. The nice thing about Ayame's, and why I personally, to answer your question, I personally like Ayame's BSB more than Squall's BSB2. Because there's no conditions. You can't, get slept in the middle of a cast time and completely lose your cast timer, or get unlucky and don't get double casts and get some bad, the bad RNG that only allows you to get 2 or even 1 usage of the command 2. With Ayame's BSB, her command 1 is half cast time, 4 single attacks at 0.47 each. And her second command is Dark Bargain to further give herself more attack. And a third form of attack if you want to add on the 5-star samurai ability Hailstorm on top of that. That's 30%, 30%, 30%. Ayame is the Sid Reigns of ice damage, physical ice damage. And she does all of this at ninja cast speed on her first command, and there's nothing that prevents that from happening, you know? She can get slept too, but that's not going to stop her. You know, there's no combo involved. And I think it's been mentioned. It was mentioned in my Final Fantasy 15 rundown, like with the Noctis's USB and OSB. The more that you complicate something, the more that you rely on a combo, and the more complicated you make it, the more prone to failure it is. And that's what I like about this, is that this is going to output enormous amounts of damage, and there's the things that would stop Squall from working will not stop this from working. I like the simplicity of it, and the fact that, yeah, it's just phenomenal by itself. And please don't forget that Ayame gets a 35% chance to dual cast samurai abilities, and these are samurai. So is Hailstorm is too. Like, yeah, I like Ayame's BSB much better than Squall's BSB too. Yeah, that's another good point for the Zadowel. You're limited by rotations and timings. So if you're at the end of a fight and you haven't been able, you still need like 2 more turns to ramp up Squall's BSB 2. You're losing damage. And that's why I say Squall's BSB 2 is a good against a target dummy, because you can run simulations all day and come out with a higher damage total for Squall's BSB 2, but Ayame's is going to excel in situations that Squall's BSB 2 wouldn't, and those situations aren't that rare. Rating 80 out of 100, but honestly, you know, I think the conditional here should be applied. I think this is an 80 and a plus 10 with her OSB. This is a sickeningly powerful BSB. And it did have a recurrence for Japan on the 30th anniversary anniversary Banner Festival 4. And we move on. Lion BSB. Non-elemental instant casts. We have seen this before. 5 single attacks, attack and defense minus 40% for 25 seconds. Grants haste and burst mode to the user. That's awesome. We know how good this is. I mean, everyone knows what Vaughn's BSB 2 does now, and this is the attack equivalent. Clearly, we've been shown that the magic and defense is better than the attack and defense, just because of how much more prevalent magic attacks are. But this is still very powerful. And the difference here, compared to Vaughn's, is her commands are the exact same, with the attack on the first command and defense on the second command. But her commands are Thief, which is really good for her because she gets... see, that's a good question, Ricky. It was supposed to be out by now, I believe. I'm opening my client now to take a look at it. It's here already? See, that's what I thought. Ayame, where are you? And Lear says it's up. Right, that's why I didn't mention it up top. I think she was one of the launch characters, right? Yep, her Legend Dive is active at the moment. So you could do that now if you wanted. Though I wouldn't unless I had her BSB. Okay, so Lion's BSB 2, they're Thief. And remember, Lion gets an element 2 that gives her 35% chance to dual cast Thief. Obviously, not that useful here because these are only single attacks with just an okay multiplier, and you're going to cap out at 10,000. So it's not like a super powered thing, but it's still a nice benefit. Or with Vaughn, if you're going to use his BSB, you're not going to get dual cast, and that's why Vaughn doesn't have a dual cast thief, I suppose. But he does get instant cast thief abilities on his USB and is unable to use his BSB with that. So anyway, it's nice when this lines up with what the character can do. I really, really like this BSB, and I rated it 80 out of 100. I think Lion is an extremely good character. I don't think she has bad relics. And next up, on the third BSB on the banner, we have Prisha's BSB. Non-elemental, quick single attacks, grants haste, quick monk abilities 5, and burst mode to the user. Since she is a non-elemental character, it's not like you can give her an End Fire or an Imperil Fire or something like that. So you got to give her something else that increases her damage output instead. And here we get quick monk abilities, which is good because not only are her commands monk, but she combos with using different monk abilities. If there's an issue with Prish, I do have one. It's the fact that she can't life siphon. Did I quink? I didn't hear a quink. Did I? Alright. Well, I gave English a win for today, and that's as far as I'm gonna go. No need to gloat. Okay, so quick monk abilities 5. Obviously, the same thing we have with Shantoto. Cast speed ×2 for monk abilities, lasts for 5 turns. Prisha's BSB is gonna get better post ability rework. Again, the problem here is no life siphon. If you want to get the 6 attacks off with her spin combo, and I'll go into she can life siphon. I'll go into it now. Her first command is non-elemental and monk. She does 3, 4, 5, or 6 single attacks at 0.8 each, with 1, 2, or 3 different monk abilities used, and then reset the stacks. So if you use 3 different monk abilities before using her C1, then you get 6 single attacks. So you would need to use Command 2 and 2 other monk abilities, which would be your ability slots, before using her Command 1. Which means no room for Life Siphon. But if you want to use 5 attacks, then there you go. You can use Life Siphon, and you can use Prisha's BSB with that. Oh, she's only 3 combat? No, I don't think we're... Yeah, she's 5 combat. But the thing is, then you'll have to stay at 5 hits for normal content, 6 hits for the jump start. Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to, like, rip it to pieces. I'm just saying that that's something to think about. So you'll be getting 5 attacks if you're using... Oh, okay, Shantoto. Gotcha. So you'll be using Life Siphon at the start of the battle, use her BSB, probably use Dark Bargain, and then if you've got Life Bane, use it. Otherwise, there are a lot of good 5-star monk abilities, so you could use those. And then you spin combo for 5 attacks and do it again. And quick monk abilities 5 probably means that you're going to be able to get 2 of these, possibly 3 of these off in the span of a burst, which is nice. It is actually a fair amount of non-elemental damage. I think she does more damage than Lion, but I think that Lion is more generally useful because of her debuffing. But it's still decent. And if this is the worst BSB on the banner, that's still a pretty nice collection of BSBs. It's just hard to contend versus Lion and Ayame's BSBs because they're freaking awesome. Alright, moving into the LMRs. We have 35% chance to grant quick cast 1 to the user after using a samurai ability. This is really good. This is really good because it just plays into 2 situations. I gave it a plus 20 with OSB because if you just have her OSB, then remember what you're going to be doing with her. You're likely just going to be hailstorming with her. So it's really nice to be able to hailstorm with her and be able to proc this and her LM2. Honestly, it may sound crazy, but if you've got her OSB and LMR, she may be a Legend Dive potential character because you're going to be double casting samurai ability or double casting samurai abilities and with the opportunity to quick cast 1, which means that you can save, like, you can keep hailstorming and then wait till you get a quick cast 1. 35% is a very high chance, and then use that on the OSB to increase the damage output even more. I'm a really big fan of what she brings to the table. I really like this. And then with most situations, we're rating it 50 because by itself but it definitely gets much, much better when combined with other things. With her BSB, that's just cheating, I think. You're getting ninja cast commands, so you're ×2 casting a ninja cast command, or you save her recast for BSB until you quick cast 1, just like you would with the OSB. I think it is in certain situations, Dragon, yeah. Hailstorm is an awesome ability. I have it at R2 right now. Maybe R3. Yeah, I think it's an R3 ability. Because it's not just a buffing, it's also a strong damage ability. Yeah, I no regrets on that one either. What's her LM1? You know what, I should have put Ayame's on here, because we haven't actually gone over it ever. Increases ice damage dealt by 10%. Which is actually better, because that 10% ice damage will also apply to her BSB and OSB casts, where 10% samurai damage wouldn't because soul breaks don't have ability schools attached. Next up, Lion's LMR. Increases duration of stat debuffs by 30%. Since that is Lion's specialty and allows her to use her soul breaks and her BSB command breaks, steel power and steel defense. This is awesome. This is great for her. This is perfect. A debuffer getting increased duration on their status debuffs is awesome. Stat debuffs. So it's a really good LMR with her. Obviously, just not that good by itself, but definitely plus 20 with USB or BSB. Now we move into the Super Soul Breaks. Prish Super restores HP for 40% of the party's maximum HP. Sure. Grants last stand and high regen to the party. That's really good. As I've realized with this Nemesis fight, and another fight before it, is something DNA likes to do on fights where last stand becomes a really nice thing. Lion's commands are steals or just breaks. They're mugs. No, they're not mugs. They are breaks. Sorry. You're right. You had the terminology correct. I didn't. Exactly, Ricky. Nemesis makes you realize that Raijin and Prish's Super Soul Breaks are made for fights like that, because DNA is going to throw in a little wrinkle for fights where they kill off your characters with impunity. They're going to say, well, I'm going to sap your characters, so, your last stand ain't going to do shit, because as soon as they revive, they're going to take damage and they're going to die. Prish's Super Soul Break and Raijin's Super Soul Break add in that high regen to it to cancel out those saps. It doesn't work 100% of the time because, obviously sap can remove that high regen, but it's definitely a good source to have. So, while Raijin's is better, because I'll probably take the charge of Instacast over restore HP 40%. HP 40% to party is not something to sneeze at. That is actually a really good Super Soul Break, and it's a nice complimentary thing for Prish, especially with her decent BSB on this banner. Next up, we have Lion's Super, which is light armor, minor earth resists, non-elemental, 5, 6, or 7 attacks at 0.99 each, and the number of attacks is based upon your speed at the time of cast. So you get 6 attacks if you have 174 speed, or 7 attacks at 205 speed. 205 speed is actually not that difficult to hit. I believe she has a base speed at 99 of at least 185, right? 187, which means with her plus 20 speed on her Legend Dive, if you have Lion Legend Dive 2, she always has enough speed to hit that top level, which is nice, and I'll show you why in a second. In other people's cases, for similar mechanics like this, like with Onion Knight and Noel can get 5 hits of Thief's Revenge if he has his BSB active. Lion doesn't need to have a BSB active because it gives a stat buff for speed. Lion can always hit that cap, which is really nice. And here's the kicker, is that 7 attacks at 0.99 each. This is a very large multiplier. Yeah. There you go. And that's accessible to anybody. You don't have to be like special status or anything to use that command. So this is a large amount of damage on a Super Soul Break. That's nice. That's great. And it's area of effect. That's the important part, is that area of effect stuff doesn't do this much damage normally. In defense and resistance, minus 50%, which I believe most people call a wall break, is a huge damage dealing status. This is actually a really good Super Soul Break. And coupled with her LMR, it's something that you can weave in with her other capabilities. It's actually a really good super. Next up, we have Ayame's Super Soul Break. It's a bracer, does wind damage, which is a little weird, because everything that she does is ice-based, including her legend materia. 5 group attacks at 1.11 each. So, I mean, that's a good comparison. This is an area of effect, and it does 1.11, so 5 would be 5.55 total. This basically doing a 7.0. That's an considerable multiplier increase for Lion. Grants haste to all allies, which is nice. It's a good submission thing. And attack plus 50% to the user, which will stack with everything that she does, because all 3 of her buffs that are associated with Hailstorm and her BSB are unique statuses. So this naked status, if you will stack with it. So this, I would consider this more just a nice complementary thing, and also not that bad in Sid mission scenario. Well, yeah, if Shout would be nice, obviously. But, yeah, it's good. I guess I have it rated at 40. It might be being a little bit harsh. Yeah, Ayame self-buffs like crazy. She can 30, 30, 30, 20 burst mode, and 50 Super Soul Break. So if you gave her Thunder God mode in a jumpstart situation, she'd have like 2,000 attack. I agree. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it. So last thing on the banner, and thank goodness it's 1%. We have Tactical Magician's Coat, Fire, Ice, and Lightning, 8 random attacks, minimum damage. Whatever. In Magic and Resistance, Selfish Magic and Resistance. Oh wait, not Selfish. Magic Resistance plus 3% to all allies for 25 seconds. Sorry, I thought it was Selfish, and that's where the rating came from. If it's Magic and Resistance plus 30% to all allies, I'll increase the rating to 40. But definitely the most undesirable thing on the banner. That's for damn sure. So thank goodness it's a 1%er while we get some nice supers for Lion and Push at 2%. So, under our overview. For Banner 1, I have Powerful A-Team Healing. Aphmau is one of the best healers in the entire game. I rated her A tier when we did the tier lists in March, but was it really March? Was it that long ago? My goodness. It couldn't have been March. Jeez, no. But I rated her poorly. She's S tier. I guess I didn't... At that point, I didn't understand how powerful Instant Cast was, but now I do. And now I think her USB is just sickeningly good. And I add that along with her Legend Dive, her Legend Materia, her LMR, her BSB. Yeah. Insane. So... And you add on a Holy Knight and Dark Physical and a below average low end. I think that's where the first banner fails, is I don't really care for the super area that much. We do have one good thing, right? I guess I can't complain with it too much. I really don't like this. Karilla's is good. That's the good one. This one sucks. And Aphmau's is completely just a complimentary piece. So it really does fail a little bit, because you're just looking at Karilla's Super Soul Break. That's my issue with the first banner, really. And remember, the banner format right now leans heavily towards these supers because of those 2%. Otherwise, it'd be a pretty good banner. Powerful A-Team, Ice Physical, and Non-Elemental debuffing with more Non-Elemental Physical. So I believe that Ayame and Lion are both A-Team caliber characters, which is great. It's great to find that on the same banner. And Push is a great backup to them. She's not gonna blow your life away, okay? But she's still competent at what she does. And she does get better with the ability upgrade, because that quick monk attacks thing relies heavily on 5-star abilities. And has an okay low end. It's definitely better than the first banner. So I would definitely be rating Banner 2 over Banner 1, but it depends on your needs, and that's why I do the banner overview, because they're two very different banners. Powerful A-Team Healing, Holy Knight, and Dark Physical to back it up. Powerful A-Team Ice Physical and Non-Elemental Physical, debuffing. With more powerful non-elemental physical. Two very different banners. Overall, from a neutral standpoint, Banner 2 better than Banner 1, but they serve two very different needs. So in my overall rundown, we have with Zed being a dead on arrival character, and Karilla being an average knight in a crowded field of Holy Knights. That's the mark against her. I do like her BSB. The intervention buff is really cool. The problem is that if I'm going to rate her against Holy Knights, which is something that you should do, like, why would I want this Holy Knight on my team rather than another one? Aphmau's potential is squandered with an unappealing banner. I think that's a little harsh. Like I said, I would upgrade one of those, maybe two of those ratings to higher than I had them at. It's not completely unappealing. There is no guaranteed recurrence, by the way. The recurrence that it does have is on a festival, which means, who knows? It's just there to let you know that it's there. So that's something I would not make note of here. From stem to stern, Aphmau has great stuff, and I'd love for her to appear on something more pullable in the future. The second banner is another matter. The worst you're looking at here is Prish, who is a respectable disher-outer of non-elemental monk damage. Above that, Lion and Ayame are two of the best at what they do, which is ice damage and non-elemental damage, with a strong side of stat breaking. This banner is the clear winner and should merit strong consideration for both Final Fantasy XI usage, as well as for A-teams. Whew. Will I be pulling on these banners? No. At least not when they're released. If the event schedule follows the schedule that we expect them to, which would mean the Final Fantasy V banners appear the week after this one, that means these banners will be active while the Bart's banners are active. Neither. Shadow. It's a triple break. Attack, magic, and mind. So, Ferris's USB 2 is minus 50% attack, magic, mind, and imperil wind. It's awesome. It's really just awesome. Okay, so back to what I was talking about. Since the Final Fantasy V banner is going to be happening at the same time as this one, if all falls according to plan, my pulls, which I have talked about for a while, will be on the first banner of the Final Fantasy V event. If I can make it out of that event with at least 50 mithril remaining, I will consider throwing 50 at this second banner, just like I did with the Final Fantasy 15 banner, because I have nothing in Final Fantasy 11 other than a shitty Shantoto staff. There was also a Mobius event, most likely. Not Final Fantasy 1, though. Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know what you meant. But yeah, it's dedicated to keeping your team alive. That sucks. Sucks to hear that, Lemon Lore. So, yeah, what's everyone think of these banners? Do you agree with a lot of what you've been hearing here? Yeah, Ballas, I was considering holding back my 50 mithril. I'm glad I spent it. I am actually kind of happy with what I got, even if it was 2 supers and an LMR. I thought it was a good spread of things that helped me out very much in the realm. So I liked the fact that I did that. And I did that because they're throwing mithril at us so readily, and I know that I don't want to throw all the mithril that I have now at Final Fantasy V. So I had 50 to spare, I felt like. And I hope I have 50 mithril to spare to throw at this banner too, because I do want some stuff in Final Fantasy XI. We are going to be getting a Final Fantasy XI Torment, most likely before a Final Fantasy XI event arrives with new banners. Yeah, Shadow, shit, you had some awful pulls. That sucked. That sucked to see that. It's a good question to have, Epic. Like the top end of this, the first banner is actually quite good, especially if you're lacking in the darkness department. Honestly, Z's BSB is good. It's weird and the character's kind of dumb, but he would be an effective character in like the darkness or holy magicite. Well, the problem with it, Shimra, is that 2.5 seconds is a long time for shit to happen. What if you can't? It's really hard to control what your health is at. What if you're near death? You know, he has no last stand or anything like Seifer does. Do you just hold back on healing him and say, okay, I'm not going to heal you just so I can get extra damage while your soul break is going off? Or do you keep on spamming those heals like you should be? I don't believe that the rewards are worth the risk and the complication of using it. Or, well, that's my opinion. That's all. Also, yeah, I need more in Final Fantasy XI, but if you're looking for synergy, is Banner 1 better than Banner 2 for general use? I don't think so. For general use, I'm going with Banner 2. for realm Sid mission use. Like, there is few things more powerful than having stat debuffs in a Sid mission scenario. So Lion is an excellent Sid mission character as well as a powerful A-team breaker. Party Heiska is good in Sid mission. Defensive and resistance minus 50% is less useful than her other things. But this is a 2% versus her USB and BSB. Add those together and you also got 2%. So it's an even chance at getting her offensive debuffs versus her defensive debuffs. Prish's Super Soul Break restores HP 40% maximum HP and grants last standing high regen to the party. This is awesome for Sid missions. The 2 LMRs aren't going to be helping you on either banner. Well, that's not really true. Ayame's LMR is going to allow her to spam the living crap out of Hailstorm. And I guess the same thing goes for Afi on the first banner, because you're going to be using single target cures with her, so why not get some HP stock from it? If that was all you had for them. Precious BSB is just damage. So, you know, fine for Sid missions. Lion BSB is excellent for Sid missions. Love that minus 40% attack and defense. Ayame's BSB is so bloody powerful that this would be all you'd need. OSB is good, but I'd probably put it in the same category. Nah, it's better than Precious BSB because of the character that it's on. Yeah, but Lion's USB would be insane in Sid mission. Jesus, insane. Inscast 2, I always forget that that's there. Just because you see the Penta break. This would be insane in submissions, yeah. Not only is this banner have some good submission stuff, but it's also just a better banner. Really, because I will be pulling for a Sid mission scenario. If I have 50 to throw at this banner after 5 is done, I would be throwing it at the second banner, not the first. Well, it's easy, Ballas. Because most likely both of these banners will be active at once. Just pull for Barts. Pull for Barts, and if you eventually get to the point where you're like, well, I got so much stuff off this banner, it doesn't really make sense to pull on it anymore, then you can just go back. That's what I plan on doing. Zadowl, that's actually a really good point, Zadowl. OSBs are really good for characters with long-lasting potential because they don't fall off. Because no soul breaks that they introduce to the game take their place. They're going to introduce new soul breaks for these characters. And OSB will always be there being like, yeah, but I have a job and I can do it better than you can. I don't care how power creeped you get. Well, that's not completely true. There may be eventually a point where they power creep other soul breaks over OSBs, but that time hasn't come. Not in Japan 4.5 months from now, and definitely not now. Yeah, that's awesome, Ballas. Holy shit. You have Lion, BSB, Gorilla, Super Soul Break, and Shantoto, BSB, and Super Soul Break 2. Do I need to still pull, or am I covered for Torment? Strider, I'd say you're covered. You're good. I'd stay away from this. You be good on Torment, and then you can wait for the next Final Fantasy XI event to shore up synergy if you feel like you need to. Alright, so we're going to retire this. I'm going to make note that anyone's welcome to view this on their own time. Just by going to my website, dirge.tv. Just go to the Final Fantasy Record Keeper section, which is the only section at the moment. Is plan on expanding it for the future, but that's not a thing yet. And you can view all the event previews that we have. Just take a look at the event list. The event list is a very useful utility for judging polls and looking at banners for the future and looking for when things are estimated to come according